This week we're having a double parsha, like we had for quite a few weeks. Not last week, but 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And self-understood, a double parsha is a lot to learn. Just let's talk about one short point for a short time that we have. And the second parsha of this, what we're reading this week, is Parshat Bechukotai. And we're learning a lot about the blessings that God is giving us if we do well, and the opposites of blessings. And as we know, blessing is always a good thing to have, but curses, that's called opposite of blessing, it's not such a good thing to have. But if you learn Hasidus, and this is our world to go into the depth of everything, so we know that even when the Torah says curses, opposites of blessing, really if you go deeper in, it's all blessings. And therefore, as we know, the Balatanya, Likutei Torah, in many other places, they explain every verse over there are really, this is all blessings. But you have to go deep. But many times we don't have to go deep, we can see it in our life too. There's some things that seems like no good, really it's very good. And there's a lot of stories about it. Just want to share one historical fact that we had quite a few years ago. And this was a fellow, a great fellow. His last name was Soloveitchik. His fellow Soloveitchik, very wealthy man, did very well for himself, for a learned man, but a very, as we call it, a philanthropist. After so many years that he's doing well, as we know, not everything always lasts, and the wheel spin the other way for him, and he started losing this way, that way, the other way. He lost his money. Self-understood, it wasn't a happy moment. But from the other side, he lost his money. He realized business is not going to go for him anymore, because whatever he touched before, whatever he touched became gold, and now whatever he touched became sour. So finally he realized he lost everything. What else is he going to do? Go for a job. So he sat down to learn. He knew how to learn well. So he got a job to teach at the yeshiva. When he started teaching yeshiva, they realized that he's really got a mouth of gold, a mind open, and he was giving beautiful classes. Amazing, amazing teacher. His kids, as we all know now, the Soloveitchik family became the people, the masters in Torah. As we all know, Rabbi Yoshe Soloveitchik, Rabbi Chaim Brisker Soloveitchik. Later in America, we knew was J.B. Soloveitchik, Rabbi Soloveitchik in Chicago. In Israel was the great Soloveitchik people, as we call them, the dynasty of Brisk. And it became a new depth in learning. As we know, the Rambam explanation, the depth of the Rambam comes from Reb Chaim of Brisk, all from the Soloveitchik family. So came a rabbi that time and he said something very beautiful. And he said, sometimes it looks like something negative, like the father of the Soloveitchiks lost his money. It's not a blessing. But really, he says, this was the greatest blessing for Klal Israel. This is the greatest blessing for all of us. Because would he continue in business, he would be in business, his kids would be in business, where would the Jewish world benefit from? To get some tzedakah. When he lost his business, and he had to get out of all this, then they found out that this is really masters of Torah. Until today, in every school, in every yeshiva, in every learning institute, the learning and the benefiting from the Torah, from the beautiful thoughts that comes from these great beautiful family. And this is what the rabbi says. Look good deep into the story. Something that is sounded so negative, it turned to be so positive, for not just for their family, for the entire Jewish world. Positive, beautiful jewels of Torah that came out of them. And it says that's what God did. God wanted to be positive to us, and the only way to do it is taking away his money. So he saw it as negative, but real is the greatest positive. And this, we have many, many stories, and we have to learn this parsha this week when we're reading it. Look at it deep and see the same into us, into everywhere. Whenever you see what you're reading seems negative, go deep. Really, it's all positive. Really, it's all beautiful. We should be able to really open our eyes. And God should open our eyes and see the positive and the beauty in everything, that God only gives us good. Let's hope we should really reveal our eyes to see the good, and the real good, as the Rebbe told us, we should see the revelation of Mashiach. Have a beautiful Shabbos.